Hi, this is Matt Mountain, and this is a demonstration on how to build reports in Salesforce. This will be the first of 3 videos. The second video will be around how to add charts to your reports, and the third one will be focused on dashboards. So what we're looking at here is just a standard Salesforce environment. It came with all this sample data, and we're just looking at opportunities. And we can see here that we've got opportunities in a variety of different stages. So what we're going to do now is we're going to build a report. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to reports and click new report. Now, by default, it typically gives you recently used. So if you build a few reports, it'll show you the report types that you've used in the past. Since this is a brand new org, it gives me all. And so what I'm going to do, and I recommend clicking on all, is going to opportunities. And I want the opportunities, and I'm going to click Start Report. Now, a couple things. There on the left side, there are 2 main things we're going to focus on, filters and outline. I always start with filters. Now, what it's showing me here is that I can set the close date to all time. That's fine. Or I'll just come in here, and I want to see all opportunities, and I want the close date to be all time. Now, it's not updating. I need to come over here and turn on that radio button. So now, as I make changes to adding fields and my filters, the report here updates. Now, keep in mind, it's only going to show you a limited amount here until we actually save and run the report. But let's go back here to filters. So opportunity status, if I want to run a report on open opportunities, then in this case, I could just say open, or I could keep it as all and then say I only want it with these stages, all right? But in this case, I'll just keep it as open. And that's pretty good right now in terms of what we want to look for. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click over here on the outline. These are the fields that by default are part of this report type. Many of these fields you may not want. So there's a couple different ways to get rid of fields. You can come in here and you can hit the X. You can come in here and you can remove the column. I prefer just to come in here and to hit the X. So I want to get rid of this one. The opportunity name, based upon how you're naming these, you probably don't need the account name and the opportunity name. So I'll just get rid of the account name. I definitely want the stage. Fiscal period, I don't need. I would like the amount. Now, the probability and the expected revenue. So how that works is standard Salesforce. If it's $15,000 and the probability is 10%, the expected revenue is $1,500. Well, I'm going to get rid of those 2. Age, don't care about. I got rid of close date by accident, so we'll add that back. But before we do, I'm going to get rid of created date, next step, lead source, and type. Now, I want to add back close date here. So I'm going to come in here, and I'm just going to type in close, and I'm going to add close date. Now, here are the 5 fields that I have in my report. Now, if I want to move them around, very easy to do. I can just simply drag and drop. And now close date is before amount. Or I could come in here and I could drag this and drop it. So you have a couple different options on exactly what you want to do. Now, I want to group this by stage. So there's a couple ways I can do that. I can come in here and I can say group rows by this field. Or I can just drag this up here to the groups. And what that does, it does the exact same thing, but now I can look at it by group. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and save this report, and I'm going to call this Open Opportunity Report. And what folder am I going to put it in? By default, it shows me private, which means it's a report just for me. Or if I want to share it with other people, I would put it in a public folder so that everybody would have access to it. Now, I've built this report. I'm looking at it. And what you can see is we have 13 total rows. Again, we don't have a lot of data. When you're in there editing the report, it's only going to show you a max of, I believe, 20. In this case, it isn't going to matter. Now, oftentimes when I build a report, I need to go back and edit it. Something's not right. So there's a couple ways in which you can do that. If you just want to focus on the filters, you can click on the drop down here and you could go in and change these. But oftentimes, I not only want to change a filter, I may want to change a field, add a field, what have you. So in this case, I click Edit, and I can come in here and I can update my filters. I can come in here and I can move around my fields. And then I click Save and Run again. So I tell everybody I can create a report in 5 minutes, and then it takes me another 5 to get it right. Now, one of the other things I want to point out here is if this report is important to you and you want to use this as a tab in Salesforce, meaning I want to see this report as a tab, it's that important to me, you can actually come up here and start it. I'm adding it as a favorite. Then what you can do is I'm going to get out of this report here. I'm just going to X out. I'm going to click on the pencil over here, and I want to add more items. There's my open opportunity report. I add it, save it, and there's that report for me. So now it becomes a permanent tab that I'm looking at in Salesforce right here. So that's a short video on building reports and editing reports. In our next video, we're going to go through how to build graphs based on reports and how to subscribe to them. Thank you.